If you're scrolling through endless TV options and feel that knot in your stomach every time the price tag jumps, you're not alone. Nobody wants to drop a chunk of their budget on a screen that looks great on paper but ends up gathering dust because it just doesn't fit the room or the way you actually watch. That uncertainty whether the picture will be as vivid as the ads promise, whether the sound will fill a living room without sounding like a cheap party speaker, and whether you'll be stuck with a device that needs a dozen accessories drives a lot of hesitation. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started looking at the 75-inch TCL T7 series, the first thing I asked myself was, will this really be a cinematic experience without turning my whole house into a tech lab? The answer started to become clear once I imagined a typical weekday evening in a family home. Picture the kids doing homework on the couch, the parents scrolling through Netflix, and the teenage son switching to a fast-paced first-person shooter on the console. In that scenario, you need a TV that can keep up with both the calm of a movie and the rapid motion of a game, and you need sound that feels like it's coming from all directions, not just from a thin bar stuck to the wall. The TCL T7's 75-inch screen is, as you'd expect, a real presence. In a room that's at least 12 feet wide, the picture feels immersive without forcing you to crane your neck. The QLED panel, thanks to Quantum Dot technology, pushes colors farther out of the washed-out range you sometimes see on lower-end LED sets. When you turn on a nature documentary with Dolby Vision HDR, the greens of the rainforest pop and the dark shadows of a nighttime scene retain detail. For gamers, the 144Hz panel refresh rate is a practical win. Fast motion stays smooth, and the input lag feels low enough that you can actually compete without feeling a delay. I tried a couple of fast-paced titles, and the motion clarity held up. There was no noticeable tearing or ghosting that you sometimes get on cheaper 60Hz panels. But a big screen is only half the story. The bundled Q-Class 7.1.4 channel soundbar is where TCL tries to turn the whole package into a honest-stop entertainment hub. With Dolby Atmos and DTS support, the soundbar pushes audio upward and around you, creating that you're in the middle of the action feeling. In a medium-sized living room, the 860-watt total power claim translates into a room-filling presence. You can hear the subtle rustle of leaves in a forest scene and then feel the bass thump of an explosion without needing a separate subwoofer. The 7.1.4 layout means you have height speakers built into the bar, so the overhead effects you get in a theater aren't just an illusion. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths that matter after you actually plug the thing in. First, the integrated Google TV interface is a big convenience. You don't have to juggle a separate streaming box, the TV's built-in apps cover the major services, and the voice remote works with Google Assistant, letting you ask for shows, adjust the volume, or even control smart home lights. Second, the TV and soundbar communicate over a single HDMI ARC, or eARC, connection, meaning you don't have a tangle of cables going back and forth. That makes the setup cleaner, which is a win for anyone who isn't a cable management pro. Third, the picture processing is tuned for both bright rooms and dark home theater environments, so you can watch daytime TV with the lights on and still get decent contrast, while the same TV can dim the backlight for a late-night movie marathon. On the flip side, there are some hidden trade-offs that become apparent once you live with the unit for a few weeks. The sheer size means the TV is heavy. Mounting it requires a robust wall bracket and possibly professional installation, especially if you're dealing with plaster walls. That's an extra cost that isn't always obvious in the price tag. The soundbar, while powerful, can become overwhelming in a smaller apartment or a bedroom. The 860-watt rating is meant for larger spaces. In a compact room the bass can feel muddy, and the upward-firing drivers may not have enough room to reflect sound properly, reducing the